I can do scatter plots.
Is this executing live SQL?
Yes. So this is everything I do is going and running some queries. It does do some caching of data in memory, so it doesn't necessarily always have to go and run the query. But yeah, when I drag something onto the report, it's going and running a query. So obviously, if your database is slow, this is going to be slower.
Did you have to model the field names
Um,
on the left? Did you have to write those out and then automatically discover those?
It automatically discovered those. When I created the analyzer, it automatically created this model based on what's in the report. Now I can go and modify that model. So I could go and say that, hey, the last play of the half really isn't a measure. And I can go and remove that as a measure. I can go say that the down number should be a measure for some reason. So then I can actually pull the down number on, and I can change what type of aggregation it is. So it's a sum, it's an average, it's a minimum. I also have the ability. Well, first let's go back to the scatter plot. No, that's not. So I also have the ability to create calculated measures. So I can say, I really want my average number of plays per game. So I can do count plays over count games. And create a calculated measure that's automatically going to do that. Now it's not just simply plain old arithmetic. I can do logs, I could do standard deviations, I can do other types of calculated measures too. But I can calculate the average number of field goals in the -6th minute of the game. 30th is a little better, so there an average of per game in the 30th minute of the game, there's an average of 1 field goal and 1 touchdown. That number doesn't quite seem right to me. I suspect there's more data quality issues here, but or my calculation's wrong, because my calculation is only taking into account when one was scored.
But generally, because it's hitting a live database, you have to build, essentially you have this like BI database. You never want it.
Yeah, let's talk about that afterwards. So I obviously could sit here and I could play with this all night and create all sorts of graphs and all sorts of combinations for you. In fact, Michael and I last night on the Google Plus Hangout spent 40 minutes playing with data, looking at data, going, hey, this is interesting, this is odd. But this is generally the SQL for me. I'm not having to write constant SQL, constantly writing new SQL. So this visualization is great both from a data exploration perspective, trying to understand your data, what those statistics may look like, but also from a, hey, you ran your model, now what is this going to do for the business? Automatically create these graphs so you can pull them out and show them to your users. Now the tool that I'm using to do this is Pentalo's data integration tool. You can go to SourceForge and search for Pentalo and download it. And everything I just did you can use for free there. I think we're trying to take questions afterwards just to keep the live stream moving. So that's primarily what I wanted to show. As I said, we could sit up here and do this all night. So as Michael likes to say, speed kills.
Speed kills. If anybody has any questions, we ended a little bit earlier. If you would come to the front and ask the question so that it would be picked up on the audio. We'd be happy to answer a few questions now. If not, we're going to head on over to Old Chicago, and you can ask us informally over at Old Chicago. Yes, sir.
Can I ask from here?
No, can you please come up? What's your name, sir?
Chandajija.
Ah, very good. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
The question I have is fantastic. Like predictive analytics and predictive modeling is so fantastic. On top of it, visualization is also fantastic, right? But with the number of choices, innovation like Tableau coming in, Suite, and, Petaho, and more, it's confusing. It's probably like difficult to make a choice. And typically, like I work for a financial services firm, and we want a proven solution that works and that we can rely on, right? What is your experience like? What do you think is?
Choosing the right, how do you choose the right tool?
Yeah, right, but
That's a very big question, and it would depend on a lot of different factors. We would need to spend some time at your business and understand your business processes, your knowledge processes, exactly what your decision-making capabilities are, what your existing IT legacy ecosystem is, and then really think about the different technologies that are out there and try to work with you to select one that would help you achieve your goals in a cost-effective, reasonable manner. And I don't know if you were here for the beginning, but the traditional data warehouse, business intelligence, architectural design is flawed because it's only built to handle structured and internal data. In other words, data that's created within your organization or disseminated within the four walls of your organization. Now you've got to take all these other data sources and integrate it in, as well as deal with unstructured data, and then you need to create analytical sandboxes to break up a lot of this big data into smaller data. Remember, small data is beautiful. You can get a lot more valuable, actionable insights out of small data than you can big data. But having the big data is really good because you have data from different sources. So likely you have an already existing IT legacy ecosystem, am I correct?
we do, and we're also looking at vendors who can actually give us predictive analytics, can actually say, hey,
Yeah,
this is what's going on.
I think my answer to that question is that's why consultants have jobs. It's definitely, you need a full understanding of what you want to do with your data. What are the questions you're trying to answer? What is the data you have? And then probably because it is such a broad space and it takes honestly years of working with all these different technologies to start understanding that, is bring in a professional services firm to help you pick the right solution.
Just to select the technology, then that doesn't even talk about implementing it and getting you to use it. But I think what you're looking for, correct me if I'm wrong, is a platform that's simple and automated. Am I right? That you could just turn the switch on, get a data source, and it's going to start. It doesn't exist today. I mean, and I'm going to be honest with you, we're in the pre-industrial age of big data technology and a lot of data science methods. So we're developing this as we go along. So the answer is yes, you can use big data technology and data science together to help your business make better decisions, to do some predictive analytics, but again on a Bayesian probability mode. Not that in finance, anybody who tells you they have a model that you'll be able to predict the stock price of this or the price of this commodity or that commodity is a charlatan. You just can't do that, and the technology isn't good enough to do that. Data scientists can't do that. So if you hear somebody making claims like that, get away from them immediately, because that's not the reality. Unfortunately, because of the hype, there's a lot of unrealistic expectations. And I wish I had a platform that was simple to use and automated, and we can train, average people, in 5 or 6 days to use it and get incredible predictive, analytics so they can make great predictions and make better decisions, but it just doesn't work that way. It's just not the reality. You're going to need a new data analytical ecosystem built around your existing IT legacy ecosystem, and you're going to need data scientists to help you deal with the data and then train the people in your firm how to use data science and the technology to make better decisions. I know it's not the answer that you want, but I think that's the current state. Does anybody have anything to add to that?
Learn more.
Right, learn our language.
Yeah, and I also think you talk about the need for data scientists, you also need data engineers. So the people to actually engineer the system, build the systems, to make the data accessible to the data scientists, to collect the infamous business intelligence tool, the Excel sheet, that everybody has on the desktop into a single source of information.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for coming. I hope you learned something.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, that's yeah, sure. Thank you so much for coming. Any other questions, please come up. Don't be shy. I know you have a question. Okay, thank you all for coming. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you, Big Data Week, for having us. I've met so many wonderful people through Big Data Week, and I hope you all enjoyed this as much as we did. It was a lot of fun giving the presentation, and I learned a lot by preparing for the demonstration. Thank you again. We're all going to Old Chicago. Please join us at least for a few minutes. Meet new friends, expand your professional circle, and you can ask me any question you want. I don't know if I have any good answers. And you can ask questions of Mike and Chris. They're really so knowledgeable about the technology. They're a great resource. Thank you.